Good morning students. Here we are going to see about the unit 2, that is transformer. So first we will see transformer on no load. So when a transformer is operating on no load, the secondary winding is open circuited. You can see in the figure, which means that there is no load on the secondary side of the transformer and therefore current in the secondary will be zero. Primary winding carries a small current I0 and it is called as the no load current, which is 2 to 10% of the rated current. This current is responsible for supplying iron losses or hysteresis and eddy current losses are known as the iron losses in the core and is a very small amount of copper loss in the primary winding. So in the figure you can see supply voltage and here the primary is connected, then the secondary is open circuited. So this is the no load. Next we will see how to draw the phasor diagram at the no load condition. So the steps are, the first we have to draw the flux phi. The function of the magnetizing component is to produce the magnetizing flux and thus it will be in phase with the flux. Induced EMF in the primary and secondary will be lagging by 90 degrees. So first phi and Im is drawn in phase. So this is the line. Then E1 and E2 are drawn in the vertical direction, that is at 90 degree. Then primary copper loss is neglected and secondary current loss are also zero. So I2 is equal to 0. Therefore, the current I0 lags behind the voltage by V1 by an angle of phi 0. We can see phi 0 like this, called the no load power factor angle, and it is shown in the figure. The applied voltage V1 is drawn equal and opposite to the induced EMF. You can see V1 is drawn opposite to induced EMF. Thus the difference between the two at no load is negligible. Active component IW is drawn in phase with the applied voltage. So along with the voltage we can see active component, that is IW, in phase, and the component magnetizing component or working component is drawn it in the opposite side. That means along with the phi it will be drawn. So we can see that the phasor diagram, phasor sum of magnetizing current and IW will be giving the no load current. So this is the phasor diagram of the transformer at no load. Now the working component IW is equal to I0 cos phi 0. From the diagram we can see. Again the no load current I0 is equal to root of IW square plus Im square. Magnetizing current Im is equal to I0 sin phi 0. Power factor cos phi 0 is equal to IW by I0. No load power input P0 is equal to V1 I0 cos phi 0. Now the transformer on load, we can see that here primary winding is connected to the supply, secondary winding is connected to the load. So here the supply voltage V1, it induces an EMF E1, in the turns are N1, here the turns are N2, here the induced EMF is E2 and the voltage is V2. When the load is connected to the secondary of the transformer, I2 current flows in the secondary winding. This secondary current induces flux phi 2 in the transformer core. Phi 2 opposes the flux phi according to Lenz's law. So the resultant flux of the transformer decreases, it reduces the induced EMF E1. Thus the strength of V1 is more than that of E1 and an additional current I1 dash drawn from the main supply. The additional current is used for restoring the original value of the flux in the core of the transformer, so that V1 is equal to E1. The primary current I1 dash is in phase opposition to the secondary current I2. Thus it is called primary counterbalancing current. The additional current I1 dash induces the magnetomotive force N1 I1 dash. so that N1 I1 dash is equal to N2 I2. The phase difference between V1 and I1 gives the power factor angle phi1 of the primary side. The power factor of the secondary side depends upon the type of load connected to the transformer. So that I1 dash is equal to I0 plus I1 dash. So we can see the phasor diagram of transformer, that is first we will see the transformer phasor diagram for inductive load. So first we will see the steps to draw the phasor diagram. Take flux phi as a reference. So you can see flux phi as a reference as taken. So induced EMF E1 and E2 lags the flux by 90 degree. So E1 and E2 you can see by lagging by 90 degree. The component of the applied voltage to the primary equal and opposite to the induced EMF in the primary winding. E1 is represented by V1 dash. Just opposite to that, V1 dash is drawn. The power factor of the load is lagging. Therefore, the current I2 is drawn lagging E2 by an angle of phi 2. The resistance and leakage reactance of the windings results in a voltage drop, and hence the secondary terminal voltage V2 is the phasor difference of E2 and voltage drop. Here these are the voltage drops I1 R1 and I1 X1. So I1 R1, how the voltage drop will be drawing means, along with I1 in phase with that we will be drawing I1 R1, a small voltage drop in phase with I1 only. Then here I1 X1 is the vertical component, it will be drawing at 90 degree. Then this point and this point connected together we will be getting V1. Here also, here V2 I2 R2, in phase with I2 we will be drawing I2 R2. Then from there we will be drawing the vertical line at 90 degree. Then this point and this point together we will be getting E1. So this is how we are drawing the phasor diagram of the inductive load. So here we can see V2 is equal to E2 minus voltage drops. Voltage drops are I2 R2 in phase with I2 and I2 X2 is in quadrature with I2. The total current flowing in the primary winding is the phasor sum of I1 dash and I0. So we can see the total current is the phasor sum of I0 and I1 dash. We will be getting that I1. So the current I1 dash is drawn equal and opposite to current I2. V1 is equal to V1 dash plus voltage drop. That is I1 R1 is in phase with I1 and I1 X1 is in quadrature with I1. The phasor difference between V1 and I1 gives the power factor angle phi 1 of the primary side of the transformer. The power factor of the secondary side depends upon the type of load. If the load is inductive as shown in the above diagram, the power factor will be lagging. If the load is capacitive, power factor will be leading, and if it is resistive, it will be in phase. Where I1 R1 is the resistive drop in primary winding, I2 X2 is the reactive drop in the secondary winding. Now we can see the phasor diagram of transformer for capacitive load. So similarly, like this which we have drawn for inductive load, we can draw for capacitive load also. Phi we have to draw. Then E1, E2 we have to draw at vertical at 90 degree. V1 dash we have to draw at opposite to E1. Then here I2 how we have to draw means, it will be the capacitive load, it is leading. So I2 will be like this. If V2 is like this means I2 will be leading like this. Then here I0 is drawn and I1 dash we have I2 and opposite to I1 dash we can draw. So I1 dash and I0 phasor sum of that we will be getting I1. So according to this I1 we will be drawing I1 R1 we will be drawing. Then I1 R1 is the resistive drop. Then I1 X1 we will be drawing at 90 degree to this. Then joining from this point we will be getting V1. Similarly, here also at V2 we will be drawing I2 in phase with I2 we will be drawing I2 R2. Then vertically we will be drawing I2 X2. Then we will be getting this. So this is the phasor diagram of the transformer at capacitive load. Next, we will see the phasor diagram of transformer at resistive load. Here also phi is drawn in the horizontal line. E1 and E2 have been drawn in the vertically direction. Here we will be drawing V2 and I2 is in phase because it is a resistive load. V2 and I2 is on the same line. Then along with V2 we will be drawing I2 R2. So I2, the voltage drop I2 R2 will be drawing. Then 90 degree we will be drawing I2 X2. So we will be getting this E2. Similarly here I0 is the no load current. Then I2 projected we will be getting I2 dash. Then I2 dash plus I0 the phasor equivalent we will be getting this I1. Then along with this minus E1 we will be drawing I1 R1 in phase with this I1. Then about 90 degree to this we will be drawing I1 X1. Then joining these 2 points we will be getting V1. This is the phasor diagram of transformer at resistive load. Thank you.